All right, folks. Good evening, everyone on YouTube. I'll have to do the customary AV check, so please let me know in chat if the AV is clear, and then we'll get the session started. I also have my YouTube open, so okay, it should be fine. I can see us on my YouTube, but please do confirm on chat if the AV is clear, and let's get the session started then. All good? Okay, perfect. My team's confirmed. All right, people, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this YouTube live session. My name is Jatin. I'm the head of VRC and student care at IIM, and I'll be the host of this session. Now we're 4 days away from CAT. So naturally, many of you must be feeling nervous, anxious, tense, stressed. We can use as many adjectives as you want at this point in time. And that's absolutely natural, right? I mean, 4 days before the exam, and the exam is important. So yeah, right off the bat, it's absolutely natural to feel nervous. I'm sure you know that. I'm just reinforcing that. And some of you probably are feeling calm, right? And are wondering as to why you're calm. Because I see some messages on the group, on our student group saying, I'm uncannily calm before the exam. What's happening? Is that okay? It's absolutely fine, right? Different people react to things differently. Both the emotions are absolutely valid, right? So don't worry about that. But anyway, so 4 days before the CAT, we thought, we'll organize a pep talk, a confidence booster session for you. And on the panel today, I personally think we have one of the best people to motivate you and give you this pep talk. And I'm saying this from experience because I've conducted a YouTube live session with him and I've interacted with him multiple times. So I do personally think he's one of the best people to talk to you right now. So on that note, I'll introduce our panelists today. We have Dr. Raj Nair with us. He's a senior professor information technology management at Wellinker. He has 17 years of teaching experience under IT programs like e-business, business analysis, MIS, to name a few. He has an MBA from IIM Calcutta. So he was in your boat in his time. He is aware of the trials and tribulations of a CAT aspirant. And he also has a PhD from Symbiosis International University. Dr. Nair also has a wealth of industry experience in the area of engineering consultancy. All right. So Dr. Nair, welcome. Very happy to have you here.
Hi.
And thank you for taking out the time.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Okay, folks, so this is how it's going to work, the structure of the session. I have a few questions for Dr. Nair, which hopefully should be a representative of what's on top of your mind right now. We'll do that for about 20 minutes, okay? And then we'll open the floor to Q&A. Okay, I'm sure you have lots of questions. So we'll devote maximum time to Q&A and we'll try our best to answer all your questions. So you don't have to wait for the second half. Start putting your questions in chat and I'll keep coming back to them once in a while. Okay. All right, let's get started. So, sir, my first question is, we have 4 days left for CAT. What would be your advice for students to focus on during this time?
Okay, a very good question. Okay, the first thing is, see, now they're almost at the boundary now, right? They have to cross the boundary rope now, right? So two things can happen. One is you can completely panic out, freak out, chicken out. That is one way of looking at it, where you keep on adding more tension to yourself, which is not going to help you to cross the boundary line, right? So the other way is to stay calm. So I think at this stage, the mantra should be stay absolutely calm. Because remember, guys, this is a competitive exam, which means you're as good or as bad as anybody else. Okay? Maybe your competitor could be somebody from one of the top colleges, but it doesn't really matter. Because the way the exam is designed with negative marks, so the way it is designed, it is, to really bring out that full managerial abilities in you to understand what is it that you can do and what is it that you cannot do, right? So I think at this stage, please do not try to cram in new, knowledge. Don't do anything. I think what you can now do is take a quick revision of the core concepts, all the formula shortcuts and all that. Take a look at your past mistakes, just review the mistakes, see where you went wrong. And maybe you can just for your own sake, for your own confidence boosting, you can probably, take a couple of more tests and stop at that. I think that is the best way to go about right now, because new knowledge is going to push out old knowledge. Okay, so don't try that at all. Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's good advice. What about so again, you spoke about how students sometimes tend to give up, right? In because of anxiety and nervousness. There are some students, and there are many students actually, who in their mind, the mindset is like, oh, this is make or break for me. This is do or die. If I don't clear this, my career is doomed. What do you have to say to such students?
See, I'll tell you what. See, okay, guys, maybe I belong to the last century, maybe the last millennial, because I gave my CAT way back in 1996, which was much tougher in those days, huh? Because we had 180 questions. You guys have only 120. We had 4 sections. See, CAT, you were not born with CAT, right? So CAT is just one part of the game, just one more stone, one more milestone in your life, right? Now, so I know many people have this feeling that if I don't crack it now, what will happen to me? So nothing will happen, okay? People who make it will make it. People who don't make it this time, probably they can repeat again next year, or they can look at other career options. See, these days there is no dearth of career options. So for us in those days, it was a kind of a do or die. But now it is not like that. You can branch up into so many fields. So many fields have come up, and I think it's a very, very good time now to be alive. At a young age. I wish I could go back 30 years and start all over again. Okay,
Right.
Jatin, just one more point I missed out, guys.
Sure.
See, when I talked about taking the revision test, or something very important. See, when you guys are practicing tests at home, right? I'm sure you have a room to yourself, right? You can ask others not to disturb you. You may have the AC on or whatever, right? But I think it is now the right time to simulate the exam. For example, see, at home we tend to wear shorts and t-shirts and all that. But try to wear the kind of dress you're going to wear to the exam hall. Switch off the AC, right? And please, understand that it may not be an ideal test center. You may have broken chairs. It may be some 100-year-old computer. Not 100 years, but it'll be a very old computer. It may have a mouse that may not work properly. So a lot of things can go wrong. So keep those things in mind, because this is one thing which I learned from my exam. Because I had a big, large room to myself. I used to have a big table. I used to spread out everything on the table and practice the tests. But on the day of the exam, it was a shocker for me when I was given one small chair with a flap. So there was no place to even put my pencil box, kind of a thing. And of course, guys don't have to face that. So I think it's very important to simulate the kind of bad things that can happen in the exam hall and practice. So that should give you a shot of confidence. Yeah, Jatin, go on.
No, but no, sir, I think that's really solid advice, because unfortunately, and it's a reality, there's no point in getting tensed about it, right? The exam conditions are not perfect for everyone.
No, they're not perfect. Not at all. Not at all.
They're going to vary, right? Depending on the city, depending on the center that you get. Best is what you can do is be mentally prepared and sort of prepare in advance. As sir said, take those mocks in those conditions. And one thing is, definitely, this already, in your slot, right? So take now the next 2 exams that sir is talking about in your slot, so they're also used to the time. Yeah. Okay. But that's great advice, sir. Thank you for sharing. So let's talk about curveballs. I'm sure, like when you gave CAT, and by the way, before that, I'm just curious. You said 4 sections in CAT back in your day. Which was the
See, for us, what used to happen was there was one quant, and then there was one DILR.
Right.
There was there was something called as verbal ability, and there was one called as reading and comprehension. But now this reading comprehension and verbal have been combined now. So talking of curveballs, right? I'll tell you what we faced, right? See, during our times, like I said, we had 3 hours to answer 180 questions. So the previous year, that is, I'm talking of CAT 95, there were no time limits for sections. Okay. So if you wanted, you could have taken all the 3 hours for one section, which would be very stupid. Right. So we went with that kind of mindset. So there are no section time limits. But the googly that was given to us was that there are going to be time limits, and that too in the sequence that they want. Like, for example, at point 0 to start the exam, they say, okay, now we will do verbals.
Right.
And after 45 minutes or something, they just snatch it back and then hand over the next test to us. So that was a big bouncer for us because we were not prepared.
That's intense.
So I think expect the unexpected. So there will be 1 or 2 curveball. That is definitely going to be there. I think last year Jatin was telling me, I think the quant was a big disaster, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very intense to just sort of have sectional limits right away without any prior knowledge. It's difficult to navigate. Hopefully nothing as major would happen with CAT 24, but minor curveballs happen every year, folks.
And it will happen. I mean, I can guarantee something will be there which was not thought about.
Right.
They're too smart. Right.
Okay. Definitely. And maybe it's a way of testing manageable.
Yeah, it's a way of testing.
How to navigate the unexpected. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So on this, right? I mean, again, on curveballs, let's say last year quant was, people thought nightmare. It was very tough. Let's say another section turns out to be very tough, right? How do you like? What is your advice on how should students sort of navigate these curveballs?
See, the point is, I mean, the overall score is important, but sectional scores are also important, right?
Yeah,
What do you do when, let's say, we have 10 students whose total is the same, right? And then you start looking at sectional marks, So that is also important. So there is no
yeah,
way you can actually avoid. But one
yeah.
good thing is it is all relative grading, right? Whatever percentile is all relative. So if it is bad for you, it should be bad for everybody else.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it is very, I mean, do not give up. And and remember, what I feel, again, from my experience, I want to just share this. At the end, don't panic and do not just keep on blindly answering. It is better to answer less questions where you think these are right rather than just take a blind chance, because that will be very foolish, because there are negative marks, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So that is something which you have to do. And if it is tough, it is tough. I mean, there's nothing much we can do about it, but you cannot leave the section, right?
Correct.
But yeah, but
Correct.
I think, if it is tough for the entire country, then I'm sure some consideration will be given in
Right.
terms of lowering the weightage or something. But you cannot give up. I mean, you have to attempt and then leave it to them to decide how to handle that particular, scoring and all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you did talk about that. You would advise people to focus on accuracy over.
Yes, I do. I always say that be
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Accuracy is much more important than trying to answer too many questions. Because the way the test is designed, you cannot answer. See, now just think about this. If you give you 2 days time, you can crack all the answers.
Yeah.
But the way it is done is, we have to test your skills in those given hours. How do you eliminate?
Correct.
Which are the ones you're going to attempt? Because some will be low-hanging fruits, Like, see, when you go to pluck mangoes, first you're going to pull out those ones that are within your hands reach, right?
Yeah.
So how do you prioritize? Now, that is a very important aspect of management.
Okay.
So that is something you should be able to understand. I'm sure with all your coaching and all the practice that you've had, you'll be able to spot the low-hanging fruits and which are the ones which you should not even touch.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think question selection is definitely paramount at CAT. So
yes, absolutely.
Completely agree with
Selection
that.
of questions is very, very important.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, in terms of time management, sir, I mean, you said that, like if and that's absolutely correct. If they give you, let's say, double the amount of time or triple the amount of time,
They can solve all of them. Yeah.
Exactly. So any tips on like time management? How should they sort of make sure that they are?
Yeah, see, I mean, you should not get stuck on one question. And sometimes it happens. You see a question, you think that this is an easy one. You start solving, and then you see that there is something is not okay with it. I think you should skip. You should skip and move to the next one. You should have that sense, like how many seconds or how many minutes you're going to devote to a particular section or to a particular question. And that is where the art of prioritizing again comes in.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Definitely. And I think folks, if you've given a lot of mocks, right, there's an internal clock that also develops.
Yeah, that works.
Right,
Yeah,
which will take care of that. So provided you've given sufficient number of mocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'd love to talk more about your experience, which I'll come back to it in a while. But just talking about anxiety and stress, right? I mean, there's obviously a lot of that, right? Understandably, right? It's an important exam. Any tips for students to alleviate their anxiety right now?
Yeah. See, one thing is, I think 24 hours before the exam, stop studying. Okay.
Right.
Just stop studying. Just close all your books. And then just take it easy. Maybe go and watch some movie, something on Netflix, some old Govinda movie, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe you can watch Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Right.
I did that. I mean, I'm being honest, I did something of that kind. Maybe some stupid Govinda movie I would have watched. But that takes your mind out of the tension. And it is very important also that one day before the exam, you need to get that adequate sleep, rest. Because see, it's like okay, let me take an example. Okay. Recently, we saw that one day, it's not one day, sorry, the T20 match that happened, right? Now, look at the case of Sanju Samson, right? If you look at his scores, 100, 0, 0, again 100, right? Now, does it mean that on the day he made 100, he's the best player in the world? On the day he made 0, he's the worst? It doesn't work like that, right? So it is all depending on what happens on that particular day. Okay? So it is very important that mentally you have to be very, very strong. There is no way you can bow down to that particular day, okay? So you need to keep yourself healthy. You need to keep yourself hydrated. That's very important. And try to avoid stress. And you can take deep breathing, do a bit of meditation, do a bit of relaxation. Maybe just go out, talk to your friends or something like that. And like I said, 24 hours before, just stop all studies. And I'm sure you'll say it.
Right. Makes sense. So back to the basics, folks. Like just stick to the basics. The good things.
Basics.
Yeah, and don't try to be experimental. Sometimes I hear students coming up with crazy ideas. What if I drink 2 Red Bulls before the exam, or 2 cups of coffee. That's a little
All that won't work.
Right.
And you know what? I know some cases where students come and say, I'll do one thing. I won't sleep the previous night. Whole night I will practice. And next day I'll go and crack the exam, come back and sleep. I think that's a very foolish thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you need to be really alert. Okay, if you can be alert only when you've got enough sleep and all that.
Correct. And
You will
sir,
be alert.
on similar lines, I'll tell you, I've had a couple of students who've come back and told me that I did a mock the morning before the morning of the exam. So the exam was
That's
on the
very
first
stupid,
slot, and it didn't work. It didn't work as much as they thought that they'll get a booster and stuff, but
No,
tiring
no.
yourself it's like giving 2 exams in a day, which is
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, before a 100-meter race, you run 100 meters 10 times and then you go for 100 meters. Okay, then it doesn't work. I think you have to keep yourself mentally very, very strong. Because, in my time, I remember when I was writing the exam, I think about around 10 more minutes are left. And I had a kind of a blackout, okay, because my brain stopped working. Because it was getting too much, because the load is huge. Because, you're processing it at infinite speed and all. But around 10 more minutes are left. I realized that I've reached my saturation point. I just closed this thing, I finished my homework sheet, and I just sat down on my chair, folded hands. Because I knew if I go beyond that, I'll start panicking, I'll start answering everything. So I said I will not do it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that remaining calm is very, very important.
Correct. Absolutely. And by the way, I mean, I understand OMR. I'm from almost the same generation. OMR sheets, because back in Sir's time, it was a pen and paper exam, right? Till about, I think, 2007-8. So we had to circle and stuff like that. But yeah, you should Google OMR if you don't know what that is. Anyway, so great, awesome. I'll take a few questions from chat. I think there are a few questions, and then I'll come back to my own questions as well. So okay, interesting. There's one person who's asking you, how many DLR sets did you solve in your day, and what was your VRC score? That's very specific question.
One good thing I'll tell you, during our days, I could never share the score, okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, correct.
Either you get a call letter, or if you don't get a call letter, you have to assume you're out. If you get a call letter, that means you're in, okay? I mean, that is how it used to work in those days. Marks were never shared. Now, talking about how many tests, honestly, I don't remember, because I had also taken coaching from one of the institutes. Right. And they used to send us regular, it was again paper-based. We didn't have a computer-based in those days, because where was internet in those days,
Yeah, of course.
If you had to browse, it used to cost you 200 rupees an hour to go to browsing center and all.
I remember
so they used to send us those thick packets of practice tests. But yeah, I made a point to practice all the tests that they had sent for all the 4 sections we used to have in those days. And one more thing which I religiously did was learn from my mistakes. Like, for example, I would have assumed something, I would have answered one, I would have made a mistake, I would go back and check why I went wrong. Okay, I think that helped a lot. I think.
Yeah. No, that's I completely agree with that. I remember, I think I didn't attempt CAT, but my brother did. And I remember at that time, CAT used to have vocabulary-based questions. Probably in the verbal ability section. And since there was no internet, he used to roam around with flashcards, like the word and the meaning.
We have also done that,
Right. I remember that. Okay.
And also remember during our days, the reading comprehension, they used to have around 7 or 8 comprehensions. Yes, and trust me, the choices were so close. It could be A, it could be B, it could be A and B, it could be B. It was very, very, very bad. It was,
Correct.
But okay, somehow cracked it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. There are papers available from 1991 on the internet. And I've seen those RC passages, really long, like 750, 800 words, and very cryptic. So it was definitely more difficult at that time. Okay, let's go to the next question. So, okay. So a person called Clueless is asking, if DLR or any other section, if pattern is changed, how do I tackle it in the exam hall? How would I know how many questions I need to attempt in order to score well?
No, see, there is nothing like how many do I need to attempt. See, like I told you, those sectional cutoffs are actually a secret, okay? They may or may not be revealed, we don't know. So please do not take a risk. Like I said, if you go with a mindset that expect the unexpected, then it will not be a shocker for you, okay? So do not attempt to have any preconceived notions that if I answer only 10, I should be able to make it. No. It all depends on how many you can do within the time limit that is given to you. Okay. Definitely. And at that point, only you can be the decision maker. Okay. You can be, and no, you cannot refer to anybody else. That is where your mind has to work very, very furiously. So don't go with any preconceived notions. That would be very foolish.
Plus 100 to that. I agree with this whole thing of I'll do 15 questions, I'll do 20 questions. What if the test complexity changes, right? and then everything goes for us. So maximize your attempts. And one tip that I can give you folks is especially slot one folks, right? Because it will be completely new for you. Maybe take like a few seconds to scan the structure of the section.
Exactly.
How many questions? How like in DLR especially, a set has 4 questions or 5 questions. Just do a quick scan and then get started. Right? Slot 2, slot 3, of course, will get some intelligence. So that will be taken care of. Okay, I'll take one more question. So Ritania is saying, my semester exam is going to start from 22nd November. I feel anxious having 2 major exams together.
God save you. No, it's okay. See, please understand. Say, semester exam is important. I think now the focus should be on the CAT now. But like I said, by the time you reach 22nd, you would have forgotten CAT, right? Because you're not supposed to be touching CAT preparation again, right? So please concentrate on the semester exam also, because we don't want to end up in a situation where you've cracked CAT, but you have flunked the semester, right? That is also not a very desirable thing to happen. So I think, see, you've already done what you could do, right? You already maximized your output, or the throughput rather. Since you maximized it, I think take a break, go back to semester exam, and then maybe time permitting, like for maybe one day you'll get. So that one day you relax, okay? Just relax, and then just go for the exam, okay? So like, I find a lot of students before the exam, they'll go take some books and keep on flipping pages and all. So please don't carry any books to the exam hall. That is not required.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to help you.
Correct.
It's a test of nerves, okay? Test of nerves.
Absolutely. It's not like your board exams, right? Where you can just
it's not a board exam because yeah. And then believe in the person upstairs. Okay, it's a lot of fate also, right?
Definitely.
It may so happen, right? Like you have skipped one full chapter in your preparation, and probably nothing came from that chapter. Or maybe you focused only on one chapter, and you know everything in that chapter, but nothing came from that. So anything can happen.
Yeah. True.
Because I remember, Jatin, again, talking back to my days, the RC, I remember out of the 7 or 8 comprehensions, 2 or 3 from the medical field. And none of us were from the medical background. I remember something around angina, chest pain, something and all was there. So, sometimes I do it deliberately,
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just thinking, giving an RC around angina and chest pain during the CAT exam is not a good idea.
That is the talking. That will lead to a heart attack.
Correct. That's brutal. That's brutal on part of the authorities. Okay, so you did talk about giving sectional exams and tests before the exam, right? So one of the students is asking, how many mocks a day should I give in the last 4 days?
Not many. Maybe max to max, give 1 or max 2. But like I said, in a simulated environment. Okay?
Yeah.
Where no AC, no fan. Put on the dress. You'll be the kind of dress that you'll be wearing to the exam hall, right? There should be a lot of disturbance around you. Because suddenly I'm telling when you go to the exam hall, once the environment changes, it kind of troubles you. That's what happened to me also. Like I said, So try that. So it should be more for the actual kind of a scenario, like we call as the beta testing. Like in a simulated environment, do the testing yourself, and you will make mistake. That is perfectly fine. But just go back, just revise the concept and all, but do not attempt anything new now. That is not going to help you.
That's solid. I love that tip around simulating the environment. I think that's very important. Maybe even wear the same shirt and
exactly.
So whatever outfit that you're going to wear, so that you have that familiarity during the exam. That's good. That's good. Okay. Somebody called Creativity Gang is asking. The aliases are just amazing.
Amazing.
Right. What to do when you know the number of questions we have solved is not enough to score good? In time pressure, should we hurry?
No, don't do that.
A few questions.
See, like I said, when you panic, you cloud your decision-making ability.
Yeah.
So, see, when you answer only when you're reasonably sure of an answer, right? So, in that panic state, if you go blindly, randomly answering questions, see, it will hurt what you've already done, right? Right? So, there is nothing like I've not answered enough questions. No, it's not like that. Again, it's a relative grading, right? It's on a percentile basis. So, based on the topper, they're going to give the percentiles, right? So it may so happen the topper also might be in the same position. So never panic and take those kind of drastic actions. That is only going to mess up the scores.
Correct. Absolutely. And as Sir said, focus on accuracy over attempts. That's very important. CAT is not one of those exams where you can give flukes and get away with it.
It doesn't work like that. Absolutely.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
But in fact, there are some people who act very smart. They'll answer all the A's because some answers will be A's, right? So that is called a systematic answering. But
Right.
see, today's systems, they are all AI enabled. Okay, they'll be able to catch it, that it is a
Yeah.
systematic kind of an answer. Or maybe the first 10 you answer A, the next 10 you answer B. So they'll be immediately eliminated.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
don't try to fool the system, and don't try to fool yourself also. So answer only what you feel reasonably comfortable.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. No, but it's true. So there's a certain social media where CAT students discuss their strategies, and some of the strategies and these tricks that they come up with, they try to act cute with the exam, only to sort of forget that this exam has all the loopholes covered. So
It has, yeah,
it's not gonna
absolutely.
work. No, you can't be cute for this exam. Don't try that.
So no systematic, answering and all that.
Right. Okay, awesome. So just 1 second. I'll just get that done. Right now, I'll come back to you for come back to your questions, folks. Just a couple of questions for sir. So in your day, you said that CAT scores weren't revealed at all. You just used to get the call letter.
Yeah.
Okay, so whichever institute selects you, sends you the call letter. That's it, and then you know
That's
that
it. That's it.
you've been
That's
selected.
it.
Okay, so no score to percentile mapping.
No, nothing.
Number of
No,
questions,
nothing.
No
Only
data at all.
180 questions.
Right.
We had a +4 and -1, if I remember.
Okay.
+4 and -1. That is how the marking used to be, but the scores were never revealed.
Okay. That's very interesting. All right. Okay, folks. So we're halfway through the session. We have ample time to take more questions, but just to let you know, so of course, Professor Nair is teaches at Wellinkar, and Wellinker's business school applications are currently open. Okay. So the link has been sent to you on chat. We've pinned it as well. We'll include it in the description and the pinned comment. So definitely submit your applications as soon as possible. You have you have some days to fill in the application, but it's always advisable to send your applications ASAP. So definitely check out the programs and consider submitting your applications as soon as possible. We'll talk a little bit about Wellinker. I think Shiv, are you there?
Yeah, Jatin, good evening.
Hi, Shiv. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Shiv.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah. So Shiv takes care of marketing and admissions at Wellinkar. So we'll talk a little bit about Wellinkar. I just have a few questions for you, Shiv. So applications are currently open. I know they'll be open for a while.
Yes.
But what is the best time to apply to Wellinkar?
See, right now, as you said, the applications is already open and we are there till the applications are live till January 13th.
Right.
I feel, yeah, once the CAT exam gets over and once the answer key is out, they get to know where they stand.
Correct.
And that would be the ideal time, they can start filling up the application. The early, the better, you can close the application. Otherwise, you wait till the last minute and then you miss on the dates, something. It should not happen like that. So better you do it at the earliest, and then that headache is gone. One thing that we have filled the application form of Wellinker, that is for sure, that thing is gone. Rest you can focus on other things. Instead of waiting for the last minute, generally you have that, no?
Yeah.
Better to fill the form at the earliest and then focus on your GDPI and other preparations.
Sounds good. So the answer key will release, I think, folks, around first or second week of December. So I think that's a great time for you to sort of submit your applications. And also remember, you'll have other exams, ZAT and stuff. So don't sort of leave too many things.
See, even some students, if they are confident that, generally what happens once the CAT is done, once they are done with their exam, they'll be expecting some percentile, right? If they are anything in the range of around 80, 85, they can go ahead immediately fill the form and submit it.
Okay.
I mean, in not even, no need to wait for the answer key to be out, all those things. If you are confident, yes, I'm scoring anything above 80, yes, they can go ahead and fill the form and submit it.
Okay. Sounds good. So the cutoff is expected to be around 80 to 85. Is that so?
Yes. See, generally what happens, we accept 5 entrance exam: CAT, ZAT, ATMA, CMAT, and GMAT. Okay. What we have done is we have categorized these 5 entrance exams into 2 different things.
Okay.
So CAT, ZAT, GMAT, we are looking at 75 for Bangalore and 80 for Mumbai.
Okay.
CMAT and ATMA, we are looking at 80 for Bangalore and 85 for Mumbai. These are the cutoffs for both Mumbai and Bangalore campuses. And also there are certain programs like business design and innovation in Bangalore, healthcare in Mumbai, and rural management in Mumbai. We are okay with 70 percentile across any entrance exam. I mean, the 5 entrance exams that we accept.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's good to know. By the way, folks, definitely check out. We'll include that link as well. Wellinker has, of course, you have the core MBA programs. They have a lot of specialized programs as well, which are very niche, very interesting. Definitely check out those programs. As Shiv said, there's healthcare, there is e-business.
Yes.
There are a lot
Yeah.
of programs like that. We'll include the
See,
link.
we basically run, Jatin, 8 programs at Mumbai campus.
Right.
Like we have PGDM e-business, PGDM business design, PGDM research and business analytics.
Healthcare.
Apart from that, we have some sectoral programs like rural management, retail management, media and entertainment. I mean, as programs that we are offering, out of which there are 4 common programs that happens both in Mumbai and Bangalore campuses. That is
Okay.
PGDM e-business, PGDM business design, PGDM research and business analytics. We offer like four specializations like marketing, finance, HR, and operations. And then we have one common application process for both Mumbai and Bangalore campuses. With one common application, students are allowed to choose 5 programs of Mumbai campuses and 4 programs of Bangalore campus. So we have like this, one application, 2 campuses, and 9 programs they can choose.
Got it.
And then we have one common selection process.
Okay. Perfect. So they don't have to appear for multiple personal interviews or anything of that sort.
No.
Nothing.
One standard process.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
And we usually do it multi-city. Like,
Right.
of course, I don't know, this year I think some plans might change. But last year we had 2 rounds in Delhi, 2 rounds in Mumbai, 2 in Bangalore, then 1 in Indore and 1 in Kolkata. That is how we did it the last 2 years.
Right.
So again, so little changes might happen.
Definitely.
But these are the cities which we generally covered last year.
Okay, that's good. Shiv, last question for you. So in terms of application, do you have any tips that to share with the students? Like how can they maximize their chances of getting through?
Maybe can I answer that, Shiv? Can I answer that, Shiv?
Yes, sir. Okay. Please, sir.
Guys, okay. See, they'll be okay. Anyway, you have to be very absolutely honest with yourself, right? Now, for example, if you don't have work experience, you don't have work experience, okay? Now, don't try to pass off a work experience by showing that I worked with my father, because what we believe is work experience means you need to get salary, you need to have a Form 16, you need to have a PF account. So those things are one. But another thing is there'll be certain sections in the application form where you have to answer certain questions. For example, why you want this particular course, or what are the technologies you're aware of. Now, what I have been seeing over the past 2-3 years is, people blindly take from ChatGPT. In fact, I'll share one experience I had last year. There was one guy who had come from somewhere in the country. I don't want to name that part of the country. So I read his application form. Immediately I could make out it is completely written by ChatGPT. And what was funny was, if you ask ChatGPT, can you answer this something? He'll say, certainly, this guy has then copied the word certainly. So the paragraph certainly comes 2-3 times. And then when I was talking to him, I mean, he was not even able to articulate himself, So I think, those kind of things we avoid, please, The Gen AI is very good. ChatGPT is really good, but use it in the right way. Maybe you can snatch some ideas from there, but the writing should be yours. So that is one piece of advice I can give you. Over to you, Shiv.
Yes, sir. See, another thing, generally what happens from the application point of view, while applying, students tend to, select only the PGDM as a program.
Yeah.
They need to understand what other programs that are being offered, understand their requirement, in terms of the opportunities that they have and the career goals that they have set. I mean, they can talk to the current students and the alumni, and then they should be able to choose the right program while filling up the application form. See, another important thing, as I said earlier, they always choose only, mere ko wo core mein jane ka hai, PGDM, marketing, finance, HR, and operations. There are other programs like, which sir is also heading, like PGDM e-business, which is a blend of IT. You have almost 80% of the management and 20% of technology related subjects that are being covered. Again, see, now if you understand, technology is there everywhere. From individual to industry, everybody is relying on technology as a platform. If I can ask the student, show me one person or one industry which is not relying on technology as a platform. No, everybody, from individual to industry, right? Therefore, they need to understand the importance of what is there, in e-business. How do it set for my career goals, all those things, and then mark. Otherwise, I just see, as a student, I just apply only for PGDM, which is having an intake of 180. There is a huge competition. if I choose PGDM e-business, there is 120 in Mumbai, 120 in Bangalore. When the intake increases, no, the scope of I would like to give it to the students while filling up the application form. Please understand the programs. And also, as you mentioned, there are some niche programs, sectoral programs that we offer. Say, for example, healthcare management. Experts talk about this is the third biggest sector in India. Say, for example, it is going to be a $35 billion industry by 2030. You need to choose wisely, boss. If I select healthcare as a management program, what are the kind of opportunities that I have? I mean, if the healthcare sector is growing, am I not seeing an opportunity for myself in the next 20-25 years?
Yeah.
So Shiva,
I think
I'm saying they need to be very, choosy about the programs.
Okay. So Shiva, I think there is some disturbance in the audio. So I'll just conclude this small part by just telling the students. See, PGDM core is PGDM core, but the other PGDM courses that we have also have specializations except the business design program, right? So what happens in, for example, e-business program I'm heading in Bangalore campus, we have all the specializations which are offered to PGDM students. Additionally, we also have the right dose of technological subjects to make the students comfortable in the IT industry. Then we have this on business analytics, right? So business analytics, again, it is a management program. And it's an 80% management program. And a lot of analytical stuff is incorporated into the syllabus so that they can fit into the analytical world. Okay? So that's how it is. So please be very careful before you just reject or you accept any course while filling up the application form, right?
Yeah.
Was I right?
Yes, sir. You are right, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Chef. I think that was really useful information. Folks, we'll include all the relevant links. The application link is already there. We'll include the link for programs. Definitely go through them and make a judicious choice as Sir said, right? Don't just reject programs outright. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Chef. So
thank you, Jatin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I wish all the students, do well in the CAT. All the best to them.
Thank you. Thank you on their behalf. Right. Okay, sir, I'll get back to Q&A. So, folks, if you have questions, keep putting them in Q&A. We'll make sure to answer as many as possible. Okay, so again, there's another question which says, I feel sleepy at my slot timing. So should I take a shot of caffeine or something, or just go with my regular everyday schedule?
Don't do all that, guys.
Right.
It doesn't help. Yeah, come on. I mean, that's very foolish, right? See, we have all lived our lives. Okay, we have also gone through very, very tough exams and all that. So this kind of things will not help. Caffeine shot. The next people ask me, can I take some morphine? Can I take something and all? Don't do all that. Just be natural. Okay. If you're sleepy, take a shot of water, maybe.
Yeah. True.
Sorry. It just fell out of my hands.
No problem, sir.
Just a moment. Just fell out of my hands.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome, folks. Keep putting your questions in Q&A. So, sir, again, just on a lighter note, we actually gave students a bunch of movie suggestions. We said that, in the last few days, just watch them, de-stress, relax, like just very fun, uplifting movies. You were mentioning Govinda movies, so I'm guessing you're a Govinda fan. But do you have any suggestions, like any movie suggestions for students to de-stress?
Currently, I'm not a very, very big movie buff right now. But maybe, you can watch something like the Kapil Sharma show or something like that, which is absolute nonsense. But, it's a good time pass. It really diverts your mind, It takes your mind away from all the tensions of the exams and all that. So watch something stupid, watch something silly. I mean, that is the way to go for it.
Right. Perfect. And also, folks, I keep getting, of course, people are joking, but people keep talking about watching horror movies and dark scenes and all that. That's stay away from that.
No, that's not for me.
Right. Let's not go there. Let's choose things which are uplifting and fun. Oh, I'd give you a recommendation. Now I didn't say this, it was mentioned on chat, but there's a Tamil movie called Labbar Panda, and this is coming from a non-Tamilian. It's there on chat. It's an amazing stuff, by the way. You should also watch it if you get a chance. That was my first Tamil movie that I watched a month ago in Chennai, and I liked it so much I went the next day and I watched it again. So it's about cricket and all of that. It's a fantastic movie. It's streaming on Hotstar, by the way. I don't know.
I mean, you should choose your own genre, right? What is it that you like? Right?
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
But no horrors and all, okay? Because anyway, the paper might be horror, so do not. But just keep your mind easy, just be calm. That's all. Okay? It's not the end of the world, and It doesn't really matter, guys. So, so I'm telling you from my own experience. There are so many people who write the CAT, some crack it, and some, after cracking it, they go and then they falter at some point. But there are guys who may not get it in the first attempt. They go somewhere else, and today they are sitting at very, very high positions. Okay, it doesn't really. At the end of the day, after a few years, what is going to matter is what work you're doing. So the college initially does give you that initial leverage you will definitely get. But after some years, it is really going to be based on what is it that you are doing. Okay, the college will not really make a lot of difference at that point. Okay?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think so, folks. I think as Sir said, CAT is not the end of the world, and Sir is not just saying that to make you happy. It's absolutely true. I completely agree.
It's true, man. It's true. Yeah.
It's an important exam, but it's an exam at the end of the day, right?
That's
it's
the end of the day,
yeah, it's not the end of the world.
It doesn't decide. It's not like a doctor signing a death warrant or something.
Correct.
Not a doctor. I mean, sorry, some judge signing a death warrant. It's not like that. Okay?
Yeah.
You gave me a chance. Okay. See, the problem is, we have too short a supply. Okay. Sorry, the supply is huge. The demand is the demand. Sorry, I'm really getting confused. I mean, the space is very small, but there are a lot of people who want to go in. But trust me, many of you, probably some of you, may not make it. But trust me, you'll go forward in life. Okay, right? Because it doesn't mean that people all the who have done given CAT, gone to great institutions, all are doing really great in life. It doesn't work like that. So end of the day, there is something called as a taqdeer. Okay, believe in that. Okay, believe in the fate. If it is there, it will be there. Okay. So learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to take life lightly, because life doesn't end with this. It didn't start with this. It shouldn't end with this also. Okay? And like I said, you guys have multiple career options. You can go in multiple directions. So it is just this is just one path which you wanted to tread, and probably you wanted to follow the herd, right? But maybe now if you don't make it, I mean, I'm sure you will make it, but just in case, maybe it's a time to just take a step back, ponder, reflect on what exactly you want to do in your life. Okay.
Yeah. That's great advice. Thank you for sharing, sir. One question about VRC fluctuation, which is very specific. I'm trying to MRL gaming. Oh, okay. I saw your question. So he's particularly talking about VRC, right? And he's saying his score is fluctuating till this day. How do I sort of keep my confidence intact? And it's a thing with VRC, because I teach that it happens a lot of students. So any tips on that, very specifically on VRC?
See, one thing I'll tell you, okay, regarding the VRC and all. See, for me, I had an advantage because I was an avid reader. Okay, I was a bookworm. In fact, my friend used to call me the spectacular bookworm. Okay, that used to be my nickname, SBW, spectacular bookworm. And even to this day, I carry that habit with me. Wherever I go, like I go to my friend's apartment, then I'll be standing there and gazing at the notice board. It has nothing to do with me, but somehow, it's a compulsion. I have to read.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I think I would have mentioned sometime before also probably. When I go to a hotel, if nothing to read, I read the menu. Okay.
Right.
I keep it 2-3 times. I'll read the menu. I'm a compulsive reader.
Right.
So maybe that is something that helped me, because since I used to read a lot, anything I could lay my hands on, I would read. So I was very comfortable with that part of verbal ability and this one RC. Okay.
Yeah.
Now coming to word meanings and all. Now I had this habit as a kid. I used to have a diary. See, in those days we didn't have internet and all that. So I had one fat dictionary called as Chambers Dictionary. So whenever I would encounter new words, I used to write down and I used to find out what is the meaning. Probably I still have it with me. I'm talking of some 40-45 years back.
Right.
But today you don't need all that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, if you have done the reading, you're through. If you have not done the reading, it is okay. I mean, it all depends on what you can recollect at that point in time, right?
Yeah.
And it is not about bombastic words and all that, right? You should be able to understand what is the flow. Sometimes without knowing what a word means, you can actually, you just look at the entire phrase or the entire sentence, you should be able to understand what they're trying to tell you.
Correct.
Right? And always, when you read, I think one thing which I had learned as a kid was, do not read word by word. Read sentence in one glance.
Yeah.
To be able to scan left to right, and in that one glance, you should be able to kind of comprehend what that line is trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So that is something that has helped me a lot. But maybe don't try it now if you've not done it. But
Correct.
I mean, don't worry. Okay, I mean, you just have to read and make sense out of it.
Yeah.
Like the word I said, angina, right? Angina means chest pain.
Yeah.
And I didn't know angina at that time, right? I mean, what it was. But then if you just read it, you can make out something to do with chest pain and all that.
Yeah.
So it will happen. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, definitely. And MRL gaming. I think you're our student, because you said lover panda. So I'm sure you're our student. But anyway, a couple of tips from my end for VRC, right? If the score is fluctuating, as number one, as Sir said, reading is very important, but that's like a habit that you develop over time. What I would suggest is continue to do your leisure reading till the exam. That'll help you sort of maintain momentum, right? And sir spoke about reading compulsively, right? So that's what I tell students. When you're waiting for the exam to start and you have instructions on the screen, read them 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So then you have that momentum. When you sort of start VRC, you'll have some reading momentum. So that's one. And focus on accuracy, as sir said. I think that's very important. When your score fluctuates, the accuracy focus will really help you, right? So yeah, just keep those things in mind. Perfect. Folks, any more questions? Let me know. I think I've answered pretty much all of them. There's also a movie recommendation. I can't pronounce that. Sorry, I
What
don't
language?
pronounce that because then I'll ruin the pronunciation. But okay, anyway, sorry. But you can check the chat, people. There's also a recommendation there. Right. Any more questions, folks? Let us know. But just do keep in mind, we spoke about Wellinker applications, so we'll put all the links. Just check them out. And definitely put in your applications. Okay, so somebody's asking me to ask Rajesh sir about the movie. I'll make sure to do that. All right. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, sir. Any sort of last words of wisdom or parting words of wisdom for these folks?
Light lele. Okay, we used to say that, light lele. Okay.
Right.
Chill,
So,
guys. Chill. You're all very young. You have a long life ahead of you. Okay. So, I mean, don't worry much. Do your best. Because see, I think it is more about the journey than the destination. Okay. And that if you have been sincere in your journey, if you have taken things very seriously, if you practice everything seriously, then it shouldn't be a big problem. But again, remember, you're competing against the whole country, right? Because you will be in only one part, but there'll be like lakhs and thousands all over the country and all that. So end of the day, it's a competition, right? So there are limited number of seats. So some will get, some will not get. So I mean, you have to accept that reality. We can't change it. Okay. Because in India, if there is something we are great at, it is a population, right? We are great at that. So we have to understand that. And then, of course, like I said, I mean, if not IIMs, there are also very, very good other good institutions, who are doing exceedingly well, like in my case only. See, in fact, today we had our Infosys process today. Some last week we had an Accenture process. So these days companies are going to all this, even tier 2 colleges and all that also. So it doesn't mean that you have to only be in an IIM to really make a great career. It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of options.
Definitely.
So I'll offer my best wishes to all of you to stay calm. And in this last, moments before the D-Day, I think if you can relax, if you can just calm yourself, calm your nerves, and do some deep breathing, maybe a bit of meditation, a bit of self-talking, encouraging your own self, talking to family, talking to friends, and all. I think that will make a lot of difference. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you
so all the
much,
best, guys. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for taking out the time. It's always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Jatin. It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And folks, all the very best for
all the very best.
24th. 24th, have faith in your preparation. Do really well. And as sir said, I'm from Hyderabad, so light lele resonates very well with me. That's like Hyderabad's anthem, right? So it's brilliant. Just light lele right now. Don't worry about it. And do your best. And then, as sir said, there are many other options. CAT is not the be all and end all of your world, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Good night then. Okay. Good night, guys. And all the very best to all of you.
Thank you. All the best, folks. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.